Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of Traffic Talk. So, hopefully, you guys are liking this new angle. I did get a new mount to put on my side window. So I'm hoping that this gives kind of a better angle that the other view just wasn't really doing. And funnily enough, I actually recorded a 30-minute video and I had to delete it because it just looked so bad and you couldn't really see the outside of the car at all. So I've learned my lesson and I decided to get a different mount. So hopefully this one provides a better angle. I'm going to keep this video pretty short because I just kind of want to test out this angle and see if it works well. And I'm currently headed to play tennis with a friend. So I'm just going to record my drive while driving over to tennis. But yeah, I think this angle so far is hopefully better. It kind of reminds me of the angles that you see in those cockpit videos with the pilots. You know, they're flying and they have a GoPro on the side. Kind of reminds me of that. So yeah, hopefully you guys like it. Please let me know in the comments below if you guys don't like this angle, if you prefer the other angle. I might just get, one of those hat clips to film in front of my face. But yeah, so please enjoy this ride to the tennis courts. Yep. So one thing today I did want to talk about was just kind of, adult hobbies. I'm kind of curious what kind of hobbies you guys have started picking up as an adult. For me, it was really tennis. I started about 3 years ago, and I really just kind of fell in love with the sport. And I think having a hobby as an adult is super fun because you have a little bit more money to spend on that hobby, and so you can kind of just you can kind of go all in, if you really do love your hobby. So I would highly encourage you, if you don't have a hobby, to really spend some time and also some money, kind of researching and seeing what it is that you like to do outside of work, because I think it really does help give you a lot of a sense of purpose outside of work, especially if you don't get that fulfillment from your work. I think it's important that you guys have a hobby to look forward to after work and also on the weekends. And it's honestly going to take a couple of trials. And sometimes you might try a sport or a hobby that you might not like the first couple times, but if you kind of just keep going at it, you might realize that you really do enjoy it. So when I first started playing tennis, I honestly hated it. My friend kind of forced me to play tennis, and I did not enjoy it because I just wasn't good at it. But I think after the third or fourth time that I played, I started to get some satisfaction from the improvement that I was seeing. And in addition to that, I found myself just kind of going out of the way to look up YouTube videos on how to improve. And it wasn't long before my Instagram page was kind of filled with tennis influencers just giving tips and tricks on how to improve, how to hit the ball properly. And I think that's kind of when I realized, okay, like, I really do like the sport. I'm going out of my way to learn more about it, to try to get better. Now on the flip side of the coin, I did take volleyball lessons. Also, I think I took about 6 or 7 group lessons for volleyball. And after the lessons ended, I didn't really find myself itching to play or really wanting to get better. And so I'm glad I tried it, but I think that gave me the confidence I needed to know that, okay, volleyball is just not really the sport that I want to pursue. It's not going to be my hobby. So right now I'm driving through Culver City, and right there, the red building, that's actually the HBO Max building. And yeah, so, if you guys haven't been to Culver City, it's a really great city to live in. It's extremely walkable. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff to do in Culver City, and there's a really great downtown area where you can walk around with the Culver Steps. There's a lot of shops. There's a Trader Joe's, Erewhon. But yeah, I personally have really enjoyed living in Culver City, and it feels safe. It's there's certainly a lot of residential areas as well, which I really enjoy. But yeah, would highly recommend checking out Culver City if you haven't. But sometimes the traffic does get a little bit annoying, like today. But most times it's honestly not too bad. I think this street in particular can be a little bit jam-packed, but you know, other areas are typically not as bad. And I don't usually typically take this route either, but I did have to take a different route today because I wanted to pick up some bananas for my tennis match. I think eventually I will also probably pick up a microphone. I'm not super happy with the way the built-in microphone in this camera is picking up my voice. So I think I was probably just gonna, maybe get like a DJI mini mic or something like that. But for now, we're gonna stick with the in-camera microphone, and hopefully it's doing a good job, or a good enough job. Yeah, I feel like I picked, honestly, one of the worst routes to get to the tennis courts. There's just so much traffic on this road, and today's a Saturday too. Traffic usually isn't too bad on weekends, but this is honestly a little bit frustrating. It's also a surprisingly gloomy day. It's usually pretty sunny, but I know the sun has been setting a little bit earlier, and so maybe that's part of it, but it's kind of dark. Alright, I think we are finally out of the traffic now. So the last 5 minutes of the drive will be a little bit enjoyable, but I have to say this was not my favorite drive. And I don't know if I should have recorded it. This was somewhat of a boring drive, but that's life. Not everything's going to be super exciting. And so I think kind of the point of this channel is also just to capture just the mundane, everyday things that we experience in life, and so traffic is one of them. So it looks like we are under a cloud, because just up front ahead, that's kind of where it kind of clears out and it gets a little bit sunnier, which is nice. I do like being in the sun. I don't know if the camera captures this, but you know what I really love about LA is just it's even in areas where it's not super pretty, you know, I still think it's really pretty. You can kind of see the hills up front ahead. They're not the Hollywood Hills. I think they're the Baldwin Hills, but either way, I find it really pretty. Even on a gloomy day like today, there's still a lot of beauty in LA. These clouds do make me wonder if it's going to rain. It did rain a couple days ago, for the first time in LA in a while, and it's kind of nice. It's honestly nice getting a little bit of rain every now and then. I feel like the seasons and the months kind of blend together in LA because, you know, you don't really have the same seasonal weather patterns like you do in other cities. Yes, it does get a little bit colder in the winter, and it does rain a little bit more in the winter, but it's not super drastic. This summer honestly was not very hot at all, and I think I'm not sure if we're officially in fall yet, but yeah, this summer was pretty tame for LA. So it kind of all just blends together, and I sometimes often forget what month I'm in. And partially I kind of blame it on work because, you know, when you're in school you have, you know, different semesters, and you kind of know, like, okay, like it's the summer, I don't have school, it's the fall, school's starting, etc. You don't really get that once you start working. It kind of all blends together, honestly. Which is a little bit sad, I think. I'm also excited to test out this camera's ability at night, because I think night drives content would be pretty cool. While that car just did not care at all. Yeah, I think some night driving content would be pretty interesting to see, and so I'm hoping this camera is able to properly pick up nighttime driving. So that's going to be the video for today. Pretty short video. Didn't really have a specific topic that I wanted to talk about. Kind of more just wanted to test out this camera angle and see, you know, if going forward I want to continue using this angle. But I think so far I'm pretty happy with it, and I'll probably stick with it. But again, please let me know in the comments, and thank you guys again for tuning in, and I really appreciate every single of you. Thanks so much.